I'm Justin Six, and this is another vlog. And today I'm going to be talking finally about this book. I've been saying I'll talk about this book for I don't know how long now. But yeah, this is Intimacy by Osho, with the subtitle of Trusting Oneself and the Other. And when you first think intimacy, you probably think about, intimacy with other people. And that is also how the back of the book, and I guess probably the advertising, though I've never seen advertising for the book, was how it was probably marketed as helping your relationship with other people. But the main part of the book is actually about our relationship with ourselves. And then it just so happens that our relationship with ourselves tends to be reflected in our relationship with all other things and with all other people. So if we improve our relationship with ourselves, then our relationship with others is automatically improved. And if you have a bad relationship with yourself, it's almost impossible to have a good relationship with others. And it talks about many different parts that are basically key to having a good and intimate relationship with oneself and with others as a result. As is in the title, one of those things is trust, but I'll get to that in a little bit. It kind of starts off talking about how we're all seeking something, and how it has this example of, it's basically like we have a black hole in our consciousness, and we're constantly seeking things and throwing it into the black hole, and the black hole is never satisfied. So we're endlessly seeking, but we don't quite know what we're seeking, and it's never satisfied. I personally definitely feel that. So I'm talking about this book because I relate to most of the concepts in it, and I got a lot of value and realizations from reading it. I've read it a couple times now. It then talks about how we have to switch from and give clarity to exactly what we are seeking, because once we know specifically what we are seeking, the desire to seek goes away naturally, and then we instead switch to focusing on seeking the seeker, so kind of looking inside and finding ourselves. And then from there, we can realize that what we are actually seeking is ourselves, and that we have everything we need within ourselves. And that's where the concept of self-love and self-trust come from. And concerning trust, the way it talks about trust and honesty and truth and authenticity is kind of extreme, but it convinced me of its extreme point of view. It basically says that to trust in of itself, the act of trusting, is worth it just because of what you get because of your trusting. And it's basically says that it's better to trust and be betrayed and lose out on whatever material thing that you might lose, or social status, whatever it is that you stand to lose. It's better still to trust and then lose, because what you get out of trusting is so valuable that there's nothing that is worth losing, that is worth gaining over trust, basically. And that basically ties into how important trust is for the well-being of our relationship with ourselves and with the world. Because if we don't trust life, and trusting life basically comes down to trusting everything within life. And if we don't trust life, then we're kind of screwed. It gives another example of we're moving down a river, and trusting that the river will take us where we need to go is basically equivalent to trusting life. And if we try to fight the river and go up the river, we'll never actually manage it. So it'll just make our journey down the river much more difficult. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because in general, when something bad happens to us, we never really know if it's bad. And if we're a bit more trusting that things work out, which they tend to work out, at least generally, then life would just be a lot easier. Because even if you have a harsh breakup, or if you lose your job, then oftentimes you'll find a better job, or you'll have a more healthier relationship in the future. Or if you lose all your friends, or if you have to move somewhere, you'll make new friends that are better suited to your personality. Because I don't want to say necessarily that they're just flat out better. It's just whatever is better for us is just more compatible with us, not necessarily better in a subjective sense, in an objective sense. And yeah, the book also talks about how there is no real security in life, and that our constant need for security and for things to be one way, and our desire to be hard and strong as opposed to weak and soft, is flawed, because the only like security and like strength is in death. Only in death is there certainty, and life itself is uncertainty. So we have to kind of embrace the uncertainty in order to truly live life and enjoy life. And then I wanted to read just one quote from this book, which is just, rather than crying and weeping and complaining and dragging yourself toward the grave, why not dance? Why not live every moment to such totality that if the next moment never comes, there is no complaint? And that just delves into an idea that I've talked about before, in that we should be living each moment in totality. Like, we shouldn't be focused on the past, we shouldn't be focused on the future, because the moment is just, life's made up of moments, and there's a certain sense of like peace and fulfillment that comes in living in the present moment. And I was first introduced to this idea by the book The Power of Now, but this book just kind of, I don't know, I relate to this book much better than The Power of Now, though I definitely want to reread that book eventually too. And yeah, I was just checking the time because I can only record 10-minute videos, otherwise my phone like stops recording automatically. I think I've mostly said everything I wanted to. Basically, trust, being weak, going with the flow of life, not seeking, but seeking who you are instead, becoming self-aware, basically. And then from that place of like trust, self-love, acceptance of the way that life, basically life should transform you, you should try to transform life. And you can have like a rudder and a direction to go in life, but you can't have this expectation that you can control exactly where you're going to go. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the book. I think I definitely haven't covered everything in the book, but I can't. There's too much. I don't even remember or understand everything in the book. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is something new I'm trying, just kind of free flow from my mind, covering topics in books that I really enjoy. The next one that I'll probably do is Crucial Conversations. This book I read multiple times, I took notes on. I'll leave the notes in the description of this video and also link them in the Discord. And yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.